Hi guys, we are streaming live on Rumble today. So if you're new, welcome to the channel. This is Cointiculate. My name is Joey FC. I run the Cointiculate article outlet, and today we are homing everything in. We're trying to streamline the whole project, bring them all under one house, all under Cointiculate. So if you're just joining the stream, thank you for joining the stream, and I hope you return today. We'll be going through the charts, see what Bitcoin is doing, also have a look at Ethereum and have a look at Solana. So far, let's check the daily chart on BTC. So far, we've come from an area, a high of around 26k, 126k, my bad. We've come from a high of around 126k, and we are currently downtrending from 126k. We're downtrending to 58k. Today, Bitcoin's trading at 62k, 62,624, but we have come from a high of 126, 125 roughly. It's a 58k level, and then had a little bounce to 63k, and it seems like we're going to be continuing the leg down. Now, I want to point something out to you. 25 come from around October 2025, from the top to where we're currently trading at 62k, even though we have already hit 58k, but we have come from October 2025. Now you might ask, why is this important? The reason why this is important is because when you go through social media and you observe the sentiment within the market, most people are likely arguing the point that how could they have known that Bitcoin would go from 126k to where it's trading now? You know, it's lost like half their portfolio. A lot of people are down 90% on their portfolio and their returns and stuff like that. So people are complaining, saying that how would they have known the top? So I bring this to your attention because if you've been following us here at Cointiculate, this is to show that we don't cherry pick what we post. We don't cherry pick just the good stuff, basically. We have it all timestamped. So if you check over here at Cointiculate, you would see as far back as, let's check the December 2025, we called for Bitcoin to start making its way to 48k. That was the final confirmation. You know, we called for Bitcoin to start making its way to 48k. Now, also, if you pay attention, prior to this article that was written, and listen to what the article says, yeah? Despite reoccurring optimism in headlines and across social media, crypto markets continue to demonstrate that sellers dominant price action. At Cointiculate, our analysis points to Bitcoin testing 48,000 and Solana re-evaluating towards 95 levels, grounded not in fear, but in the market's structural dynamics and liquidity distribution. This is as far back as last year that we printed this article out for you guys. You know? So now I want to bring your attention also to, let's see if we can find it. Let's try markets. Let's see if we can find the article. Just a second, guys. Just a second. So pay attention to this, yeah? Remember this, because this is all time-stamped. It's not like we are doing what a lot of YouTubers do, where, you know, they cherry pick which articles or whatever they're saying. We have it time-stamped and marked out for you. So if we go back to the Bitcoin chart, pay attention, we can see, is Bitcoin headed for a major crash according to a time-tested indicator? This was printed at same time as the top. Timestamped Cointiculate.com. So what does the article say? Is Bitcoin marching towards reckoning below 100K? This time, Trusted Signal sounds the alarm. It says, in the grand theater of global finance, Bitcoin, that digital colossus of modern speculation, has stood in ground above the sacred threshold of 100,000 for 4 consecutive moons. Many have hailed this as the foundation of a new financial fortress, as a bastion of strength upon which the next great rally might be built on. Yet, beneath the calm surface of this digital ocean, the tides whisper a different tale. A vulnerable instrument of market wisdom on the OBV, affectionately christened the granddaddy of volume indicators. For those versed in the language of OBV, OBV is not trivial measure. It chronicles the flow of conviction, adding volume when the market rises, subtracting when it falls, revealing not just price, but purpose. When price treads water within a range, OBV shatters its own support or resistance. History teaches us to prepare. The market's next move is often written in that silent break. Today, that break has come. Timestamp out here by Cointiculate. In 2025 October was also the high. It says, today, that break has come. So Cointiculate pointed to this exactly at the top. And if you notice, from then on, Cointiculate kept printing the same uniform arguments. It never waved once. It never changed its opinion. It never said we're going past all-time high. It never said the market was looking bullish. From October of 2025, when the market was at its most bullish and at its most highest price, Cointiculate sounded the alarm that this is the tone of events, that the bear market was about to kick in. We're not saying it to gloat. It's time-stamped out here. It's right there. We're not saying it to gloat. And then also, now bear in mind that Cointiculate called the top the same month Bitcoin was at its highest in 2025, as far back as 2025. Cointiculate called the top. And then also, in that same October 2025, the article, this is why your entry and stop loss are my TP, was printed. Look at it. This was when everybody, most people, were extremely bullish. And it starts by saying, when social media euphoria peaks with prediction, trade deals, and exuberant headlines, savvy players prepare for a market reversal. You cannot make this stuff up, guys. You can't make this stuff up. Look at this. When was the top? When was the top? In about October 2025. When was this printed? Timestamp, October 2025. When social media euphoria peaks with prediction, trade deals, and exuberant headlines, savvy players prepare for the market reversal. So you can't point out saying, well, we didn't know the top and now we've lost 90% of our... If you just read the article, it could have given you an insight on how to start, DCAing out. But you guys do not read. You like to follow social media influencers, videos, people, these are the top 5 crypto coins to skyrocket, to go to the moon. So you guys do not read. It says here, history provides clear proof. Look back at 2021 2021, when Bitcoin first peaked at 60K, X was flooded with razor high profile pictures and institutional adoption headlines. Yet Bitcoin plunged over 50% within weeks. Now consider November 2021 when Ethereum hits its 4,800 all-time high during the NFT mania predictions of 10K by Christmas. 2 months later, Ethereum collapsed below 2,500. Even the March 2024 ETF euphoria followed the script. Social media exploded with celebration. The market pumped for days and then bled out as buy the rumor, sell the news played out perfectly. The psychology at these euphoric highs is predictable. It's predictable, guys. This is not rocket science. It might not be predictable for you, but for us guys who's been here since the inception of crypto, since the days of Alphabet, we know the cycle. I do not like to brag, but I was an early adopter. I'm talking about pre-2012. I'm talking about evolution days. Those who know, they know. I'm talking about Alphabet days. Before it was seized. Those who know, they know. We know what has been driving the price of Bitcoin. I remember buying Bitcoin at probably $10. Yeah. This is not me not knowing what I'm doing. And then waking up months after, it's like crazy amount. I'm like, huh? And I wasn't too sure what had happened. That was my introduction into finance. And I was trying to figure out, did I make mistake and buy? Are aware of how this plays out, they get it. You know? The dynamic explains why, for smart money, retail entry is their take profits. When retail traders enter at euphoria's peak, chasing headlines and influencer confidence, their stop losses become the liquidity that fuels smart money exits. I am smart money, guys. Here at Cointiculate, we are smart money. And we're not just saying it, the receipts are there. The receipt proves we are smart money. How can we not be smart money? How can we not be smart money? Look at this again. The high was 100. We printed in October to start to DCAing out that was the top. We're in 2026 now. July, and you're saying we're not smart money? Of course we're smart money. We might not have that major. We certainly can predict when the reversal begins. And we've done so easily. I'm not even gloating, but it was easy. We also predicted 5 years prior to that what was happening. Our course has been on the money over a number of years. Our calls have been on the money. I bought Matic. Here at Cointiculate, we bought Matic in the cents, under a penny. Before it's changed to the name that it's called now. I've forgotten what name they go by now, but. And we bought a lot of it. We also bought Cardano, ADA. We're talking about when Cardano was like in the 6-7 cents. We bought Cardano. We also bought Stinky Link. chain link. We're talking about when Chainlink was under $1. So we have been on the money when it comes to this kind of stuff. We have an eye for the right stuff. You know, we have an eye for potential. We can't teach you that. We're just good at it because we've been here from day one. You know. So the article at Cointiculate goes on to end by saying, we don't need to predict the catalyst because the pattern is recognizable. Every cycle ends the same way. Social sentiment peaks, the fear and greed index hits extreme greed, and social media becomes an echo chamber of certainty. When they are certain that it's definitely mooning, you should be wary. Crypto doesn't crash because of one event. It crashes because optimism gets priced in and then exhausted. We don't know what will be the catalyst to bring the market down, but we know it is likely going down. The certainty comes from pattern recognition. End of article. Look at that. Well written. We wrote this for free. Here at Cointiculate, we gave it to you for free. We could have saved you a lot of money. You know, this is why your entry and stop loss is my TP. You know what I mean? The writing's always on the wall. You know? So it's interesting when, just a second. Just a second, guys. So yeah, it's interesting when Moon Boys, like, what do we call them now? Like the Moon Boy cartels, you know them, Cowboy or whatever, the guy's channel that's called The Moon. We're gonna call him from today Moon Boy cartels. It's interesting when the Moon Boy cartels, they're always, you know, telling you how Bitcoin is going to $1 billion. Exactly when the reversal is happening, you know? They consistently keep failing the RDA. They keep consistently failing RDA. For those of you who don't know what RDA is, on this channel, real world accountability test. That's what we're just going to call that, even though it doesn't kind of, you know, come together. On this channel, we're going to be referring to Benjamin Cohen's as the macro monks. Crypto banter, we shall be calling them the banter brigade. So when we're talking about crypto banter, just know, once you hear banter brigade, you know we're talking about crypto banter. You know? So when they keep saying, how could they have not known the top? A lot of these people did know the top. Unfortunately, that's just how the world works. A lot of these people knew the top. The banter brigade, them over their team, I'm sure they knew the top. But like the article says, they need your liquidity to exit. So most of these influencers you keep following are all genuinely not nice people, you know, because they know the top. These things are not difficult to predict. They know the top. However, they still fill the space with euphoric sentiments because they need your liquidity. Your liquidity is their exit. You know? Let's see what the Banter Brigade has been up to. And yeah, also, for those of you who are just joining the live, for those of you who are just joining us, we ask that you subscribe. Press that button, subscribe, so that you can help out the channel, you know. Subscribe and like and share. Because the more you share, the more it's possible to save you some of your funds. Because if you'd been sharing this at the time it was printed, timestamped in October 2025, it's most likely that you would have taken into account what the article was saying and started to DCA out with conviction. But if you don't share the stream, if you don't share the article, how is it going to reach people who really need to read it? Because the space is flooded by a lot of imposters. The space is flooded by a lot of people who just want to exit with your liquidity. So you need to share this so that the good actors can come true. You know? Why Bitcoin could enter another parabolic cycle. We just love the guys at Banter Brigade. The Banter Brigade guys, they're just so easy to watch, you know, because their mouth is so sweet. They've got honey in their mouth. Especially Man Ran. They've got honey in their mouth. Why Bitcoin could enter another parabolic cycle. You better get in now. Let's hear him out. Go on, Man Ran. What is this about?
Congratulations, it's 1 July. Congratulations if you're here. You've managed to waste the first 6 months of 2026. I don't know, that's what it feels like if you're a crypto investor, right? You think about our returns for the first 6 months of 2026, because yesterday was the last day of the second quarter of the first half of the year.
The comments never cease to amaze me, you know. The comments is life. Look at this. The video ain't even started yet, but pay attention to the comments. I think this guy is more confused about the market than I am. But yeah, let's see what he's got to say.
Not great returns. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin's returns, Bitcoin gave us negative 22% in the first quarter, negative 14% in the second quarter. ETH, basically, if you combine the first 2 quarters, you got a negative 65 or 55% return. So not a great time to be a crypto investor. That's why I thought I'd start the show with this and just remind us how we've managed to waste the first 6 months of...
Also, guys, for a lot of you who are new to the channel right now, Cointiculate, I want to thank you and welcome you to the community. You know, because right here at this community, we're trying to build something great. We're trying to build something major. We're trying to build a family so that we can help one another out of the slums. Because your 9 to 5 ain't gonna cut it. I'm sure you're busy, you know, getting 9 to 5, it's not gonna cut it. Not in this current economy. Have you been to the groceries lately? Have you seen how expensive things are? Do you have a wife? Do you have children? Even if you're single, the cost of living has skyrocketed. You know, the money we possess that we earn is unable to purchase what we used to be able to purchase just 2 years ago. So our purchasing power has fallen. It has plummeted, you know, and that's why I'm kicking off this channel to help like-minded people so that we can build something as a family, you know, because together we stand, you know, but if we stand alone, we are easy to pick out as a prey, you know, divided we fall. Together we stand, divided we fall, you know, so that when I see something that is of value, I want to bring it to your attention. Likewise, from you guys as well, you know. So your failures are my failures. Your success are my success. You know? We want to build a brotherly and sisterly community here. We want to help each other out. You know, we don't want to be the last ones in. You know, we want to build something strong. And I know this is going to be successful. How do I know? How do I know we're going to be a success? This is already a success because we have taken a format, a proven format that has already worked, and we are bringing it into our own formats. You know, we've taken a format that's working and we are incorporating it into our own channel. And that's why, in order to make sure, in order to hit the bullseye that this channel is going to be a success, we have done the most important thing ever. We have made a great acquisition. We've made a great acquisition. We have acquired the services of Fred. Fred, you can stand up. Fred, stand up and be counted. Yeah. How you doing today, Fred? Everything good? You liking the presentation so far? Yeah, we only got to improve. This is day one. After all, we predicted back in October at the top, saying that was the reversal. Isn't it, Fred? Now, for those of you who don't know, people say, who's Fred? Who's Fred? Who's Fred? Listen, Fred was one of the main reasons this channel, Crypto Banter, took off. So now we've acquired our own Fred. Isn't it, Fred? Just that saying it's Fred from Temu. Stop that. Who said that? That it's Fred from Temu. Who said that? What do you mean Fred from Temu? Fred, ban this guy. Ban him quickly. What do you mean he's our only subscriber? Our only subscriber. Ban him still. We need to set precedents. We need to make an example of this guy. How can he call you Fred from Temu? You're the real Fred. After all, the Rick Ross, the rapper who stole the name from the actual Rick Ross, who was a drug dealer. After all, he's made the name bigger. And, you know, he's made a living out of it more comfortably than the original Rick Ross, you know. Yeah, Fred, ban this guy, ban. It doesn't matter if he's our only subscriber, put him on a ban. I'm sure there are ways to know if he comes back again under a new name, isn't it? And then you can re-ban him. Yeah. Yeah, so we've acquired Fred. And because we've acquired Fred, we've already done 80% of the hard work. Because Fred is going to be doing all the research from behind the scenes. Who said there's no need to put Fred on camera? Fred likes to work behind the scenes. Isn't it? Yes, we've made an acquisition. We've acquired the Banter Brigade's own Fred. No, we didn't kidnap him. He came willingly. Fred, we're not paying you very well at Banter Brigade. How much were they paying you? You can't declassify it. Fred doesn't want to say how much he was getting paid. Fred, okay, seriously, how much does Man Ran have? How much does Man Ran have? You don't know. So what about most of the time when he's doing those live trades, when he says he's putting like 50 bags here and there, were they real trades, Fred? Or were they fake trades? You're meant to be our insider now. What do you mean you don't know? This Fred, I can see Fred losing his job very quickly. I can see Fred losing his job very, very quickly. But anyways, guys, yeah, this show is going to be a success because we've acquired Fred, you know, and Fred is reasonably, yeah, one of the guys who actually made Crypto Banter to, you know, to go to greater heights. So hopefully we've got Fred now, and he's just going to bring that same format, dust it off, you know, and we apply it on here. You know what I mean? So, guys, remember, we're trying to build a community here. Who's talking about giveaway? We're trying to build a community. We're not trying to give giveaways. Teach a man how to fish. Thank you. So that he may never go hungry again. A lot of you people just like handouts, so. Yeah. So we're trying to build a community here. We are also accepting donations to build the channel. Yes, because the channel needs money. And what is good for the channel is also good for you. Okay, guys? Because if we can grow the channel, we could grow together. Yeah. So let's see what our guy Crypto Man Ran,
Of
Banter
2026,
Brigade
guys.
is saying.
Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to everyone. So yes, we've managed to waste the first 6 months of 2026. Actually, it feels much worse than that because it's not like we've wasted the first 6 months of 2026. It feels like we've wasted this whole presidency. Like if you look at since Trump's basically come into power, 524.
Now, I want to stop you there, Man Ran. I want to tell you something, yeah? If you had bothered to go in and check the article we posted to you, Man Ran, you would have saved your community. Because what did we say? Man Ran, pay attention. I mean, Banter Brigade, pay attention. When was the top? Banter Brigade, this is not rocket science. I'm sure you guys can declassify this. When was the top? Yeah? Look at the top. When was the top? It's wonky, but the top was around October 2025. Now, when was this article printed? Bear in mind, there was a previous article to this one that said that was the top. Now, this was a follow-up article. When was this printed? 25 October. So, Banter Brigade, what's up? We sent this to you. We told you this is the top. We expected you to take it to your community and say this is what we found, so that they could start getting ready to DCA out. But you didn't take this to your community, Banter Brigade. Instead, you were calling for a 500k Bitcoin when we already told you the top. We already told you the top. This is why your entry and stop loss is my TP. When social media euphoria peaks with predictions, trade deals, and exuberant headlines, savvy players prepare for a market reversal. Banter Brigade, we brought this to your attention. We brought this to your attention, Banter Brigade. But you didn't save your community. We told you, look, this is the top. October 2025, this is the top. Now, why didn't you tell your community this is the top? Even if you did not tell them this is the top, why did you not present them with the same information? Why didn't you say, we came across this article, It's called Cointiculate. They are saying this is the top. They've recognized the patterns, they've pointed to very accurate indicators, and they've said to DCA out that this is the top. Why didn't you at least inform your community? And now every day you're just crying online. I could have known this is the top. How could you not have known? We sent it to you. We sent you the top. So my guess on this is that you possibly saved yourself and you just left your community to rot. So for those of you who are in Banter Brigade, the ship is sinking. It's time to jump onto the Cointiculate army. This ship is just taking off now. So jump in before it's too late. Because what we're trying to build here is not just trying to enrich ourselves. We want to empower you as well. Because we know how difficult things are right now. Cost of living is through the roof. And you cannot longer be relying on people who their bellies are well fed to explain to you or give you the information that you need to change your life. You need to rely on soldiers on grounds like Cointiculate. We are hungry with you. We're going to go to that with you. If we find credible information, we will present it to you. We will not deceive you and tell you this is not the top and use you as liquidity. No, we won't do that. It's what us as a whole community at Cointiculate Army is what we will do with the markets. So for those of you who want to jump aboard from the Banter Brigade to the Cointiculate Army, this is the time. We have receipts. We are showing and we are telling. The top was in October 2025. Called it in October 2025. We have receipts. Check the website. Nothing has ever been deleted. Go and do all the rewind and the nothing. Everything is credible. So yeah, I'm sorry, Manran.
24 days later,
We
whatever
told
it
you.
is.
We told you when the top was in. We tweeters posted it to you. We posted it to you. You read it and you ignored it. I'm happy to say you're not laughing anymore. You were laughing then. I'm happy to say now you're not laughing anymore. We didn't just pull this out of thin air. You know what I mean? So those of you who want to jump from Banter Brigade to Cointiculate, I implored you to carry on, to jump on. Their tummy is well fed, so they don't care about you. If a news that's going to impact your portfolio is about to drop and they just wake up and they have access to that information and they're tired and sleepy, they'll go to bed because they've saved themselves. Whereas here at Cointiculate Army, we would inform you straight away, this is what we have found. Guys, be safe out there. You know? So I don't want to rumble on any rant anymore further, you know.
Solana's down 70%. Bitcoin is down.
Now, let's see if we can bring back that article. If it's still there. See? Look at that. In October 2025, we printed this for you. Is Bitcoin headed for a major crash according to a time-tested indicator? We printed this out for you. We told you in advance. Now, also, I want to bring back what he said somewhere here. This is another important thing. Just pay attention,
Start the
guys.
show with this and just remind us how we've managed to waste the first 6 months of
Listen.
2026, guys. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to everyone. So yes, we've managed to waste the first 6 months of 2026. Actually, it feels much worse than that because it's not like we've wasted the first 6 months of 2026. It feels like we've wasted this whole presidency. Like if you look at since Trump's...
He said it seems like we've wasted this whole presidency since Trump. Now, this is the show and tell. These are the receipts. We've got receipts. Crypto Man ran. When Trump came into office, you kept saying Trump was the factor that we were going to pump to greater heights. You said it. It was consistent with most of your segments, most of your video. Because of Trump, we were going to pump. You kept pushing that narrative, Crypto Man ran. So it's interesting that now in hindsight, as of today, 4 days ago, in July 2026, you're saying it seems like we've wasted the whole Trump presidency. Meanwhile, if you'd paid attention to Cointiculate, yeah, what did we tell you? Look at the headline. Markets fearful due to Trump's erratic tariffs. This was a no-brainer. You can't just be raising 100% tariff and expect everything to be all right. This was a no-brainer. We printed this back in 2025, November. We told you, as long as this dude is in charge, the market would never go up. Because we called out the bluff. We said, this guy does not have the means, the intelligence to push the markets to all-time high. We said the only thing he could do was to be dumping the markets and doing inside trading. And we've been proven right. Here at Cointiculate, we have been proven right. You know, that was our analysis. Look at that. Financial markets are entering a period of visible unease as President Trump's sudden tariff announcements are unpredictable. And public behavior creates fresh waves of uncertainty across global trading flows. Investors are not only reacting to the policies themselves, but to the manner in which they are delivered. When national economic strategy swings dramatically without warning, the psychological impact on markets can be as powerful as the policy. We informed you this, Manran. We told you this. We even sent you the article. But did you bring it or present it to your supporters? No. Did you bring it to your community? No. You retained that valuable piece of information to yourself. You retained this powerful information to yourself. Not once did you bring it to the attention of your community. Look at this. It even goes on to say that investors have decided to sit out Trump's time out. God damn! How it's the investors have decided to wait out his tenure. And that's why money is being pulled out of Bitcoin. Because this guy's erratic behavior with the tariffs. So we did tell you. You know what I mean? What's that saying that says you could force say whatever to the stream, but you can't force it to drink or cross? I don't know. But it's the same thing. Markets fear what they cannot predict. Come on now, guy. I believe you from a background of finance. How could you not have seen that? How could you not have seen the writing on the wall? You can't just get up one day as you please and tweet something and expect the markets to be just pumping. No. As soon as he got into office, we said here at Cointiculate, this guy does not have the financial pedigree. He does. If you don't have it in you, you don't have it in you. You're not a financial wizard. He inherited bare money from his dad and squandered bare pee. You know? He didn't have it in him, and we recognized that straight away. And that's why it was one of our indicators of why we were able to call the top. Pattern recognition is key. You know? Time-stamped. He only has the power to dump by tweeting explosive tariffs, like 100% tariff. But he doesn't have the... When you can just tweet 100% tariff, you have the power to dump. So the market is more likely to. But you don't have the power to raise the market up. You're not Barack Obama. You're not an Obama. You can't bring people together. And if you can't bring people together, how are you going to make people work together? There are those who are destroyers and there are those who are builders. Unfortunately, the guy sitting at the realm right now is a destroyer. So until you get a builder, you can't expect to build on a foundation that has already been broken. You have to level the foundation, you know, and start building from scratch. And the foundation is effed. You know? So yeah. So it's interesting that he's now talking about, you know, under the presidency that it hasn't, you know, moved. But we told you this from day one. We told you the person who is at the realm is not a builder. Yes, he claims that he builds all these buildings. But what did they just put their names on it? They didn't build it. So basically, he's an imposter. And he's been caught. He's been found wanting. You know? So yeah. And my advice, while we are on this has got nothing to do with the whole financial whatever, but my advice to the Democrats would be, because they're going to take the House in November. And if you're going to take the House in November, you should not be hastily quick because you now have the power to impeach Trump to then impeach him. I would advise caution, wisdom for the Democrats in November when they do take over the House, because take over the House they will. But just because you now have the power to impeach Trump does not mean it's the wise thing to do. No, on the contrary, it's not the wise thing to do. Because whoever takes over from Trump is already a winner. Whoever takes over from Trump is already a winner. Trump has set the bar so low that any little move up, the person will be seen as a messiah. So why rush to impeach him and then give J.D. Vance a way out of possibly winning the general election? So there's no need. Because if you rush to impeach him, already you can see J.D. Vance is already distancing himself from Israel. Politically wise thing to do. He's given himself a chance because he feels Trump might get impeached in November. And if he gets impeached in November, imagine now giving J.D. Vance a chance to revitalize himself, to start to undo all Trump's work. And then he's now seen as a messiah, that he's doing well. And then you give him a chance to win a general election, when you should just let Trump keep ruining everything. And that way, by the time you go for the general election, you can now point out and say, look at what the Republican parties did. Look how terrible they were. But if you impeach him in November and J.D. Vance takes over and does a few changes, he can go to the public and goes, I wasn't president. Trump did all that madness. Now look what I have done since I came in. You're just giving him a lifeline. You shouldn't do that. Democrat, if you're wise, you should not impeach Trump when you take over the House. You should just let him keep ruining the economy. You should let him drag the Republican parties to the mud. You know? So that would be my 2 cents on that. If they're wise, they wouldn't impeach my man yet. They're already hanging themselves with the rope. Allow them to keep hanging themselves. Allow them to keep suffocating themselves with the rope. Give them a longer rope. They're doing the job for you, Democrats. Allow them to finish themselves off. Do not throw them a lifeline by impeaching Trump in November and then allowing J.D. Vance to, reshape his image. So we are going to end the stream here because we have come to the 1 hour mark. Remember, guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like and share, all that yada yada. We're trying to build a community here. As we've shown you, the Banter Brigade hasn't fought for you, because they had ample of opportunity to bring this information from Cointiculate to your attention, but they failed to do so. So it's time you jump onto the winning team. Okay, guys? So we're going to leave it at that.